my name is Diana McAlintal, and I'm the Director of Worship for the Diocese of San Jose. Welcome to the second video in our series that will help music ministers become the best music ministers they can be. In the first video, we talked about the three attitudes, the three things that all great music ministers have. And those three attitudes were being confident, being committed, and being prayerful. In this second video, we're going to talk about the 5 areas of knowledge, the things that excellent music ministers need to know in order to be the best music minister they can be. So first, I want to tell you a story. After I graduated from college, I was able to join this great gospel choir up here in the Northern California area. And it was just a gospel choir that was put together by a bunch of friends. We actually called ourselves the Friends Choir. And we were put together for a concert, to do a special concert. And so even though we called ourselves the Friends Choir, not all of us knew each other. There were still a lot of strangers in there. But that experience with that gospel choir really changed my life. Remember I told you about the Newman Center Choir that I got involved with in college and how that opened up my eyes to what being a liturgical musician and a liturgical singer was all about? Well, this gospel choir built on that conversion experience that I had and showed me how excellent a choir could become and how amazing when a group of people put their best foot forward together, how that changes everyone who hears them. So I'm going to tell you about 5 things that I learned from that gospel choir and that helped me become an even better music minister. The first thing that I learned about being the best music minister you can be was that we have to know how to be courageous. Now, courage is sometimes we think that you have to do something really scary and fearful. Well, first off, think about it. Singing is making yourself vulnerable, putting yourself out there. In a way, you are sacrificing a little bit of something that's deep inside you to share with someone else, to share with total strangers, and just to put it out there. That can be a very scary thing. Well, this gospel choir, I am a tiny person, and there were maybe 30, 40 people in this choir, and we were all levels of ability and all levels of experience, but everyone there, they put themselves out there. And part of it was that the music really forces you to put yourself out there, to speak up, to sing out, to not be afraid, to use your voice to give praise to God. And that was a courageous thing. And so as music ministers, we have to learn to let go of our inhibitions and use our voice. For a long time, I was afraid to use my own voice, and I had to work on a lot of prayer, a lot of reflecting, so that when I sang, it wasn't this tiny voice. It really was coming out of me, and it was something I was sharing with others. And so excellent music ministers know how to be courageous when they sing. You can take it a step further, and it's not just about using your voice, but being courageous in learning new things, learning new music, trying out new styles of music, new repertoire, even singing languages that you're not familiar with, but you're willing to try and learn with each other. And so be courageous, try those new things. Half of singing is a mental exercise. If you imagine doing it, you're halfway there, okay? So first thing, be courageous. The second thing that we need to know how to do if we want to be excellent music ministers is connected to being courageous. It's encouraging one another, giving that courage to others. Now think about it, being a choir member, participating in a choir, that's a team sport. You don't be a choir by yourself. You have to be a choir with others. And it's not just singing, individuals singing all in the same room. It's individuals bringing their voices together to become one voice. In a way, you are breathing together. You have to breathe together, literally, in order to make yourself sound like one voice singing together. So we literally conspire together in order to inspire others with the song that we sing. And so you have to encourage one another. You have to pay attention to one another. And so being encouraging means supporting one another. It means helping others out when they're having difficulty learning a passage. It means giving others the space to be able to learn. Sometimes we think, okay, we got our part, so now we can talk and chat and not focus. But in order to encourage others who are working on their part during the choir rehearsal, we have to give them support, give them encouragement, give them our good vibes and words of support when they're struggling to learn a passage. Most of all, the biggest thing that I hear so often when people say, oh, I wish I could sing like you, but I have a terrible voice and I don't want to sing. I can't sing. I ask them, why don't you want to sing? Why can't you sing? And they say, first off, I don't have that voice. But if you keep asking them, eventually they'll say something like, somebody told me I shouldn't sing. Someone told me I didn't have a good voice. And that is just a sad thing. How awful it is to keep someone from using the voice that God has given them. And so we have to encourage others, not just in the choir, but everyone that we meet, to use their voice, to use the voice that God has given them, to give praise, regardless of what it sounds like. Because it's not about our sound, it's about singing praise to God and not being afraid to use what God has given us. So encourage one another. The third area of knowledge that we need to have in order to be excellent music ministers is that we have to know how to be prepared. Now, this gospel choir I told you about, it was made up of a whole bunch of different people with different levels of experience. Some of these people were real stars in the Catholic liturgical music world, but most of us were just volunteers from the choir. But all of us tried to act with professionalism, tried to be prepared. That is what being a professional means, not how much you're paid or how much you get for doing a service, but it's how much and the quality of what you give. So all of us, whether we were famous or whether we were just volunteers, were trying to be professional. The way to do that, the way to be prepared, is some basic things. First off, you got to come prepared to do the work. Singing is work, and being part of a choir is really hard work. You got to bring the tools that you're going to need for that work. Basic things: a pencil with an eraser, a binder for your music. Bring your music. You know people who have held up the work of the choir because they didn't have their music or they didn't have the tools that they needed. Most of all, you need to bring yourself, bring your presence, bring your attention. Be present. You must be present to win in this case. And so be a professional. It doesn't matter that you might not be paid for what you're doing, but when you act as a professional, when you are prepared, and when everyone on your team is prepared, you can do amazing things together. You change people's lives. And the hard work that you put into it, it doesn't show. What people will see and what people will hear will be the depth that comes out of your own soul, your own voice, because you put in all of those hours of practice and you came prepared to do the work. Fourth, we have to know how to focus. So preparation, being professional, always leads to focus. Where are we placing our focus? In that gospel choir, one of the things about gospel music is that it's very improvisational. There's definitely music that we have to sing and know in a structure, but within that structure, even the choir itself is invited to improvise, to kind of repeat phrases over and over again, to sing a different phrase at this time, and it's all directed by the Holy Spirit through the music director, through the conductor. And so in that gospel choir, we really had to focus hard on our conductor, on the director, to know where we were going. But in a liturgical choir, we can take that same idea and be sure to focus on our conductor, our director. But most of all, our focus has to be on the primary music minister in every liturgical situation, and that is the assembly. Our focus has to be on the assembly because they are the ones who are making the music, and our role is to support them in that music making. And so one way that we as choir members can focus on the assembly is when we're not singing, is to make sure that we're praying with the assembly. That's our first and primary role, to be assembly members who happen to sing in the choir. So make sure you are responding to all the spoken responses. Make sure you are praying when it's time to pray. And when we're singing, make sure that you're not overpowering your team member, which is the assembly. Focus on them and their prayer. And then the last thing that we need to know to be excellent music ministers is to know how to keep growing, to keep improving on our strengths and really highlight the strengths that we bring to our choir, but also to focus and to keep growing in our weaknesses. What are the areas where we need to improve? What are the skills that we need to learn so that we can continue to contribute well to our team? And so these are basic skills that we all need to know. And it really is a discipline of discernment. How am I serving the prayer of the community? Where can I improve so that the community can pray better? Where can I give more so that the community can be enhanced by the ministry of the choir? Where do I need to totally shift gears and try something different? So it's those disciplines of discernment that will keep us learning new things, learning and growing and becoming an excellent music minister. So one way that you can work on those skills that you're going to need to keep growing is to participate in formation. And coming up here in the Diocese of San Jose is a workshop just for choir members to help you learn those practical and essential choir skills that will help you become a better singer. And these are not for professionals, so don't be intimidated, but it will make you sound professional. Just even these basic skills will boost you up to the next level. And I know that's what we all want to do because we put in so much time into this ministry that we love. And so make sure you sign up for that workshop that's coming up. And in the next video, we're going to focus on 3 musical skills that will help you take your singing to the next level, that will help you become the best music minister that you can be. I hope you've enjoyed this second in our video series, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next one. My name is Diana McAlintal. Thank you.